Inside Track is a series of podcasts presented by movers and shakers in the world of cryptocurrency. The goal of Inside Track is to educate the listener in various topics, from Bitcoin to projects to watch out for, from the future of Ethereum to NFTs, from DeFi to the next big thing in cryptocurrency. These are people who have developed cryptocurrency projects and are hands-on in the industry. They are the best people to learn from. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. Today we would like to introduce you to Tim Frost, the CEO and founder of leading DeFi platform YieldApp. Crypto Question included YieldApp in our most recent monthly Moonshot portfolio, 20 cryptocurrencies which have been researched and rated. Tim will talk about his own project and how it differs from many of the other DeFi platforms. He also discusses the DeFi market in general and what mass adoption is likely to look like in this sector. Over to Tim.
I'm Tim Frost, the founder of YieldApp and CEO. I'm a kind of fintech entrepreneur. I've been building a high growth fintech company since 2014. I was part of the founding team at Wirex and have helped numerous other fintech companies grow and scale. And most recently with YieldApp, it's a fintech that offers high yielding accounts powered through decentralized finance.
Let's get started. What is the future of DeFi and how you think it will revolutionize the fintech industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you're really looking forward, DeFi, I think is one kind of area that's gonna just really move the evolution of kind of money kind of forward. So particularly three areas that I'm really excited on: the evolution and the use of stable coins that are kind of commonly used, and so they're more and more being adopted by financial institutions and governments. Essentially, have kind of almost given a kind of green light to interact with the stable coins for settlements. So the AMM, or automatic market makers, and then through kind of decentralized exchanges, especially with the use of stable coins, that's kind of sending and receiving value that's kind of sent across the world, and the ability to kind of send and receive money and be able to send that through stable coins, and that's kind of goes back to that kind of cross-border settlement. So overall, I see kind of the future, and then kind of where DeFi kind of merges into this is financial institutions will be able to kind of send and receive money and any sort of value, and it will be received instantly in the currency of choice from the counterpart. And I think this is extremely powerful, and this is really kind of happening in more of a decentralized way, where we have different liquidity providers that you can be able to, well, ultimately what we all want is better, faster money that's even more cost effective to run.
Let's move on to NFTs. Do you think it's a bubble, and what is their future?
Start saying yes, absolutely it is, and at the same time, no, it's not. So there's, I guess, the NFT market overall. It's I guess the new trendy buzzword of the month, but it is here to stay. Yet it is kind of overhyped at the same time. So I think what most people kind of associate it with is how NFTs are being used in like the digital art space, and all this digital artwork that is being very highly valued. And so my intuition will tell me, so is that a bubble? I would say yes, or it is moving into that. However, the use of NFTs overall is pretty much in its infancy. Particularly in the insurance space, where I think that just the use cases are going to be pretty vast and endless of how this is going to be adopted. So, but most things that relate to kind of the digital currencies and blockchain, things get very heavy and heated very quickly, and then we kind of really start to move into kind of real disruption and uses.
On to DeFi. How and when on DeFi will mainstream adoption take place? And what do you think will be big on DeFi in the next few months?
So the way that it's going to be adopted to mainstream, I would say the way that we kind of see this moving forward, especially at yield.app, is people are going to be using this and not using this. Most of the way of all kind of major technologies, you'll have kind of interfaces that are built on top. So if you're sitting in your kind of cottage in Brazil and you ultimately want to send a remittance to your cousin across the world in Korea, you'd be able to kind of do this and basically sending kind of local transactions that are basically kind of happening through kind of decentralized currencies, and ultimately that settlement would be happening in the back end. Um, it's going to take a while for this thing to be kind of really truly adopted, but I'd say it's kind of growing by the day. So the decentralized or finance or DeFi space overall, it is quite fast. There's many very active segments to it, but overall it's been able to this is happening through kind of decentralized exchanges through kind of these automatic market makers, and just be able to send and receive value and be able to send it. And there is always a liquid market happening 24/7 on chain. So again, it's going to be happening. The only way it ever happens to go mainstream, and when it does go mainstream, it's going to be happening all behind the scene. And the end users aren't going to be knowing what's happening, much as our kind of philosophy at yield.app, right, where you can kind of invest into this decentralized finance industry and earn high yielding accounts. At the end, you don't have to understand what's happening on the back end, and all the heavy lifting and complications of what's happening is handled by our team.
On to DeFi. How and when on DeFi will mainstream adoption take place? And what do you think will be big on DeFi in the next few months?
Big thing, I think, overall in the industry, that's a pretty challenging one. I think NFTs overall have just really started. And I think overall those teams that are really working on very creative use cases that kind of are starting to make a significant impact. I'd say that's pretty much the big trend kind of moving forward. Insurance is also a very hot space that has not really gathered the necessary attention of where we need to be. Of how can you actually properly kind of insure your different positions in portfolio, and do this in a reliable and safe way in this space. So I think those two, particularly of myself, are just kind of a big focus of what we're focusing on here at Yield.
What's the next big thing for Yield?
I guess a redevelopment of the core application. So we're hard at work on the kind of redevelopment of kind of version 2.0. We've gotten fantastic feedback from the first 27,000 users and the first 60 million in AUM that's going to come in, and that's really helped us kind of understand and position how to make this a much better experience. As well as when we roll that out, we'll be rolling out our Bitcoin fund and many kind of exciting new products and features that people are so excited about.
Thanks, Tim, for your valuable insight. In closing, we would just like to remind you that this podcast does not represent financial advice or a recommendation to buy. Remember that investing in cryptocurrencies are high risk and you could lose 100% of your investment. Thank you for your time, and we hope you enjoyed this podcast. Keep an ear out for our weekly podcast Moonshot Monday and other podcasts in the Inside Track series. Don't forget to visit our website at www.cryptoquestion.tech or follow us on Twitter or Instagram at CryptoImpartial.